Episode 90. So Smitty goes to the park to find Kenny, and Kenny appears saying, "Are you looking for me?" And I'm telling you, at this point, this racist ass dude just thinks that he's invincible. He thinks that he can just do whatever he wants when he wants, and the threats that's being thrown his way is he's just like, whatever. He's gonna do what he want to do. Next, Martin is having a press conference at Orthy Jeans, and Vernon tells him what he's about to do is reckless and irresponsible. So I'm assuming that Martin's plan is to just go ahead and put everything out there so that I guess Kenny won't have anything to blackmail him with, but he has a lot to lose if he does it that way, so I don't see how that's beneficial. Next, Smitty asks Kenny why is he hanging around his kids, and Kenny tells him shouldn't he be asking his husband that question. And I think at that point Smitty definitely knows something bad is going on, and Martin is all entailed in it. And this Kenny guy, he told Smitty where's his money, and so, well, he told Smitty that Martin has to midnight to get him his money, and that his husband is the bad guy in the story. So yeah, if Smitty didn't know, now he knows. Next, Vernon tells Martin a press release telling the public about what happened that night is not the answer. And Martin says he will tell the public he was defending himself from a hate crime. And Vernon tells them the problem is that they didn't report the incident and the cover up afterwards. Exactly. Vernon's right. It should have been reported at the time. And even at the time, they took a risk that it may be looked at differently. And so by covering it up, it really looks like the crime was done. So no, it's not that black and white at all. So Bill tells Vernon that his threats is empty, and he says Kenny wants to get paid, so he won't do anything to expose what happened. Vernon asks Martin to hold the press conference for a couple of days until they get a plan together. And Martin says that Joey is not the answer in resolving this issue. And I don't know. I would say that Joey is the answer in handling this issue, because people like Kenny, they don't understand anything else but the kind of justice that Joey is throwing out. Next, Martin has decided not to halt the press conference, and Joey shows up to the press conference, and Vernon tells him he's surprised he showed up after the mess he made of the situation with Martin. And Joey tells Vernon he knows how hard it is to find good help, but Bill tells Vernon he'll talk to Martin because people got involved that didn't want to be mentioned. Next, Smitty packs Martin's bags and tells Samantha and Tyrell that he can't have Martin staying at the house with them. And kudos to Smitty. It is about time that he holds Martin's feet to the fire and make him accountable for what's going on, because things have gotten too far. I mean, he's had his family just exposed, and you got this racist idiot who's sitting up here approaching these kids, and they don't even know who the hell this man is. Anything could have went down. And so I don't blame Smitty at all. Martin needs to go. The kids ask Smitty what's going on, and Smitty says he doesn't know because Martin didn't tell him anything. And he said he's still trying to piece everything together, and that they had the right to know what's going on so that they would know how to handle the situation. And I agree, because maybe if they knew what was going on, then the kids wouldn't have been so quick to talk to a stranger, or Tyrell invite a stranger to the house. Next, Bill tells Martin if he decides to talk about the night in question, he's going to need a defense lawyer, and Martin accepts his offer. So Vernon asks Bill what is he doing, and because he thought he was going to stop Martin. So Bill introduces Martin by giving him an introduction, and Vernon looks outside and sees Detective Malone putting a gun in Kenny's side and taking him off. See, and that's that Joey justice that I'm talking about. Joey is the only one who could have got that kind of result, because everybody else, Kenny was playing with him. He was not fazed by him, and he was going to keep on doing what he wanted to do. So they needed that kind of Joey justice. And Vernon turns his head towards Bill on the podium. Next, Naomi calls someone regarding the homeless woman June, and she's trying to get information, I guess get more information about June, and the person on the other line hangs up. So Naomi calls again, and the woman tells her, don't call her again. So there's definitely more going on in regards to that June storyline. And like I said in a previous video, I had read that June is Anita's deceased group member Barbara's child. So I'm thinking that is going to be the storyline, but it's going to be interesting seeing how that unravels. Next, Smitty tells Tyrell and Samantha it could be a while before Martin is allowed back into the home. So he lets them know everything's going to be okay. And I think they're just scared because they've already been through this before, where their family was torn apart, and that they're just scared because instability to them, would be scary given where they came from. So they just want to know that their home is not going to be torn apart, and you can't blame them for that. Next, Martin takes the podium, and Bill slips him a note, and Martin drops down to the table. He kind of drops down like he's holding himself steady using the table, and Bill whispers in his ear that it's over, and Vernon sighs a sigh of relief, and that ends the episode.